What is up guys, it's TK and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you all the tips with this equipment and also what you should be running as pet combination with each hero regarding those equipment. So let's dive in and see some of my examples and also how these things work together as a combination. Now firstly we're going to talk about the king. So the king itself has three major combinations with equipments. Those are going to be one of it right now that I'm currently running, the spiky ball and the snake bracelet. The other one will be the spiky ball and the earthquake boots, and the other one will be the giant gauntlet with the raid gem. So regarding your levels of equipment, make sure to take them. Let's for example say you only have upgraded these two equipments for the eternal time, like literally all the time. These two equipments, it means your king has to be inside the core in your strategies, which then brings me to bring you that Phoenix is going to be the best pet with your king. So if you have the Phoenix, of course, make sure you upgrade it, and you can use other like pets before the Phoenix, for example like the yak, so you can kind of upgrade the Phoenix. Or if you have the Phoenix leveled up, make sure it's on the king, because it's usually the best equipment throughout all the town halls since you upgrade that Phoenix, and it's basically the best not equipment, the best pet with the king throughout every strategy mainly. And I've not seen not many people like switch around the pets on the king, because obviously, as I said, the Phoenix just brings him back to life, making sure if he's in the core, the Phoenix will tank for those healers as well. So gathering a lot of traps is one of the key things the Phoenix can do, and that would be it for our king, because obviously you can see how things go around with the snake bracelet. Not a lot of you may have upgraded that, and it's totally okay, but when you have the snake bracelet upgraded, you want to combine that with the spiky ball, and you want to drop the king on the outside of the base, which means again, if you have the Phoenix, usually you have the queen on the outside with the king too, so it can tank more for your queen as well. So the Phoenix is going to be the main pet for our king. Now we're going to move to our queen. So the queen has a lot of combination with equipments, and regarding what levels your equipments are, I'm going to give you kind of the best pets that will go with the queen. I don't know in the lower town halls if you guys still doing queen charges. Obviously the unicorn is going to be your key kind of, I would say, pet with the queen. And once you're doing the queen charge, usually I've seen a lot of people want to take the regular like equipments with the queen that we used to take with the invisibility wall and also the frozen arrow. But as I said, there is so many equipments with the queen that can be moved around, but the main major pet for the queen is going to be the Frosty. Now you might be saying why? Well, in Town Hall 17 and Town Hall 16, there is something called the Ricochet Cannon or the Multi-Archer Towers. These two defenses are going to be very heavy when they are kind of pointed on the outside of the base, which means if you're diving like around it with your queen, if your queen is on the outside of the base, she can take so much damage if there is nothing in front of her. So what happens with that kind of Frosty is that it develops frostmite, so it can tank a bit in front of the queen, it can frost those defenses slightly, and it can also take that early damage like the ricochet cannon or like an expo, because the unicorn is behind the queen. She can't do much if she's just all alone by herself without anything tanking, especially if you already popped her ability with a giant arrow and a healer puppet, for example. So that way you can see how things can be changed. But once you have the Frosty, it doesn't matter if you pop the queen at the beginning, sometimes you even have the giant, so now the Frosty and the giant are tanking for you in front of a ricochet cannon. But then sometimes you don't even want to pop the ability, you want to keep going, and the queen can be on her own on the outside with that pet, no matter what equipments you have on her. So I would recommend you definitely to put the Frosty on the queen on literally every single strategy of you, except the ones that the queen is going to go into the core, because you need her to heal up and you want to have damage equipments inside the core. So once you pop it, even if your queen is very low, you're still going to have healers or unicorns healing her kind of up, and because she's going to be tanked behind all of your major army, she won't even take that much damage anyway, rather than being on the outside. So that will be it for our queen. Now we're going to move on to the Minion Prince, because this hero is interesting how it can move around with pets, because obviously there is only two major options you want to have with the Minion Prince as pets. One is going to be the Phoenix and the other one is going to be the Angry Jelly. Now you might be saying, why the Angry Jelly? What is happening? Well, guys, if you pair that Noble Iron with the Minion Prince equipment, that iron is not like, for example, the Royal Champion Spear, where it's really a lot of shots going onto the targets. It's actually way less. So on the maximum level, you actually get only 7 shots, and you want to maximize using that. So what you need to do is to drop the Angry Jelly. This will make sure once you drop the Minion Prince, those 7 shots will only hit the defenses and not the trash buildings. This will give you nice funnel. This will also take down a lot of damage from the enemy bases if you want to have the Minion Prince on the side of the attack to funnel everything in. Or even if you want to start with the Minion Prince, he can be dropped, stay back, hit a few defenses like a Monolith or like a single Inferno or like a Rage Tower, Poison Tower, anything, or even a Town Hall, and then move forward. This will make the best use out of the Angry Jelly, and it's going to be our only Angry Jelly use in this video, because obviously Angry Jelly is a certain pet that it's not really going to work with other heroes regarding their equipments, because it doesn't move around the equipments. Like for example, if you have the Angry Jelly with the King and the Spiky Ball, it actually doesn't work like it does work with that Minion Prince. So the Spiky Ball will go to trash building no matter if you have the Angry Jelly on the King. So you can already see the best hero pet is the Angry Jelly for the Minion Prince with that Noble Iron. But the other equipments of the Minion Prince, whenever you are diving into a base, usually people have the Dark Orb, which is very good. It frosts everything in the base. And regarding your main army, if you have a lot of dragons, you don't necessarily need those Henchman puppet anymore, because you already got enough tanking. So what you need to take is the Metal Pants. These two combination together will really wreck the bases, especially if you have the Phoenix. The Minion Prince will actually come back to life and help you out even more after he's already had 1 life and another whole life with the Metal Pads, and he's gonna have a 3rd life with the Minion, not the Minion Prince, the Phoenix. So yes, that Phoenix and the Angry Jelly, these are the 2 key things that you need to be using with the Minion Prince. And regarding your equipment levels, obviously you can see, do you drop the Minion Prince inside the core, or do you want to drop it on the outside of the base to funnel your troops? That would be it for our Minion Prince. We're gonna move to the Ground Warden. Now the Warden has 2 key factors. One of them is supportive and the other one is going to be damage. So the damage equipment of the Warden, as you all know, is the Fireball and the Rage Gem. A lot of people already have these maxed out because it's been in the game for a long time, but if you don't, I understand it. You can move with the Warden on the other kind of method to use it as a support hero, so diving into a base with the spam army, with the smash army. But if you have the Warden with the Fireball and the Rage Gem, I would definitely suggest you to put the Unicorn with the Warden, because you're doing a little Warden walk on the outside and you can actually take less healers when you take a Unicorn. I've seen a lot of people going with a Super Witch attack with 5 healers and then their Warden pet is very bad. Guys, switch this around. You can even take 4 healers, take more cleanup, Coco Loons if you even wish to, and take the kind of the Unicorn with the Warden. So when he's on the outside, the Unicorn can be behind the Warden and heal him up. This is one of the key things that is going to be with the Warden walk Fireballs. Now a lot of you may say, what about Sneezy? It can test for traps, it can test for the healers. I understand that, but look at me. The Sneezy is gonna have a problem, and as you can see from the clips, it can actually be very bad to lure the Teslas that are absolutely not necessary. Those Teslas are going to be really further away from your Warden, that usually if you want to drop a Fireball, you didn't calculate them in your invisibility drop. So you're going to drop invisibility bad, and then suddenly a Tesla pops up because of those boogers and you're losing out on the Fireball value. So you can already see the Unicorn is going to be the best hero with the Warden when you're doing a Warden charge on the outside with any army, obviously, and it's going to stay behind the Warden. Other pets like the Lassie, the Poison Lizard, the Diggy, these pets, even the Yak, they go really further away, and you don't want that to happen with the Warden walk, especially if it's a fireball attack. So obviously now you understand what to do. But if you have a Warden supportive, so that means the Healing Tome and the Eternal Tome. The Eternal Tome and the Raid Gem. These are the supportive way to use a Warden, or even the Life Gem and the Raid Gem. These two also work together nice. It's a bit risky, obviously, but that's another whole topic. But obviously, you want to have the Sneezy. This will tank for the healers inside the base. The Sneezy itself doesn't do anything when it's like hero is not dead. So the Sneezy, what it's going to do is to actually tank for black mines. But the boogers are the ones who are tanking for the red mines. So it's going to be opposite side too. The Sneezy cannot actually give those red mines away in the base, but the boogers also cannot give away those sickener mines in the base because of the way they like housing space values. But obviously this is going to be the best pet to run if you have the Warden diving into the base and you want to pop the Warden ability with Root Rider attacks, with other ground smash attacks, and obviously the armies that you are liking the most, the Warden being supportive hero. So that would be for our Warden. I don't believe there is any more pets really, but if you, for example, are running a Titan attack, and if you're running a Super Yeti attack, you can take the Yak with the Warden and take more Cocoloons for your healers. These will also make sure you go through walls without needing a jump spell or needing the King inside the base, so the Yak will give you those walls open, will break them through, and it can go forward, so you don't necessarily have to have the Sneezy. Even if you're upgrading the Sneezy and you still have a smash attack, I would really suggest you to take the Yak. The Yak will be very, very good no matter what type of Warden you use, obviously except the one that is on the outside and doing a fireball. But yes, that would be for the Warden. Now, moving on to the Royal Champion. The Royal Champion mainly is like the King. You usually have that kind of, I would say, the Fox with her, the Spirit Fox, because it's going to make her invisible. But one thing people need to realize is that sometimes on certain strategies where you're taking mass invisibility spells, it's a lot easier to control your Royal Champion when she has the Phoenix. So when she goes into the base with the Phoenix, she can actually do a lot of damage after the invisibility. Maybe she's around the enemy hero, she's around the enemy queen or enemy RC, even Minion Prince. She can actually die, come back to life, get that enemy hero, pull the clan castle if necessary. If not, obviously there's no thingy like around it, but obviously the Fox will be the best pet for the RC no matter what strategy you use. But as I said, if you're having mass invisibility, it's just easier to use that, I would say, Phoenix with the RC, but that's mainly for people who use dragons, which means they don't have the King. They have the Phoenix with the RC, Angry Jelly with the Minion Prince, and you can already see the King will be out of the equation. That way they have all damage heroes and not tanky heroes to dive into the base and crush the base from inside out. Obviously it's all regarding strategies, but as I said, the RC, any other equipments you want to run with her, the Spirit Fox is going to be the best. But there is certain equipment combination with the RC that regarding your levels you can move around with. If you have a lot of epic equipments with the RC, which we currently have two, if you have, for example, Electro Boots upgraded, one thing you can run with her, actually not one, you can run three things with the Electro Boots. So I would suggest you to upgrade the epic equipment of Electro Boots, because you can go with three different equipments combination, and no matter which one you already have upgraded, you can switch around with it. But if you have only the Rocket Spear upgraded just like this, you can actually only take that spear with this shield, because it's very, very heavy damage combination. You can drop the RC on the outside, pop the shield and the spear to get many defenses, and then move into the base to help the army. You just have to protect the RC from then and there, and it will be tougher, because if you drop the RC on the outside, the Spirit Fox, just like the Warden on the outside, will actually move forward sometimes, and it's not the best combination. But that's why this combo is not in the game currently, but it used to be in the game, and it used to be good. I'm not gonna lie, it's very good. So if you have only that epic equipment upgraded, this is the only combination you can go for. You can also kind of pair that with the Hogs. Sometimes if you have the RC inside the base, The RC can stay back, drop the spears, and the Hog can go with the army forward, so that way they can tank for the Royal Champion so she doesn't die through her ability. But obviously, as I said, the best combination will be the Electro Boots. It can go with Hogs, it can go with the Rocket Spear, it can go with the Haste Valve, it can go with really anything and everything. Obviously, the Royal Gem equipment is currently not really the best, but as I said, the pets would be the Spirit Fox and the Phoenix on the Royal Champion that you want to use. And hopefully this video was helpful for you guys to kind of manage your pets, equipments, and everything around your heroes and strategies, which is the most important thing in Clash of Clans. Just make sure you understood everything I said. If you have any questions, make sure to leave it down below in the comments. And as always, if you want to purchase anything from Blueprint Store, make sure to use code TK. It will give you a 10% discount and it will help me out a lot. I appreciate every single one of you that you do that. And hopefully, again, you guys enjoyed this video. See you soon. Take care and peace.